This is a quick update on the Kushner Sazan story. Firstly, I want to shout out Girl in Albania. She took my published research, credited me, linked that research in her bio, and then did her own legwork. She physically followed the money back to the Netherlands and made 3 incredibly well-sourced videos that turned one lead into a fully traceable thread. She found the Dutch shell company and then went to the Dutch end and pulled the actual registry. She mapped the entire financial chain from the Albanian developer to the local engineer to the US-based Arthur Shehu, up through Universal Properties Projects, through Blue Industries Holding Company, to the Dutch Trust Management BV at the top. That is not an easy thing to do. This is incredibly dense and complex. She also found a pattern. So she was able to connect the same 2 companies through that Amsterdam office to a jet fuel monopoly at the Tirana airport and Albania state healthcare contracts. This is exactly the kind of collaborative research that makes me so happy. This is what moves the investigation forward. I opened the first door, but she ran through it. And now what she was able to find, I have fed back into my own process. As well as this, I got an email from an independent economist and researcher in Hamburg, Germany. They pointed me at a number of primary documents that confirm the story. This is the full primary document, decision number 23, the Albanian Strategic Investment Committee's official decision granting Atlantic Incubation Partners LLC strategic investment investor special procedure status for the Sazan Island. This is a primary source document that confirms the island was under the administration of the Ministry of Defence, that underground tunnels and bunkers are indeed on the island, that the surrounding waters fall inside the Sazan Marine National Park, that the state of Albania commits to transfer the land from the Ministry of Defence through the Real Estate Fund for Strategic Investments into the Albanian Investment Corporation within 90 working days. It confirms that the Ministry of Defence was instructed to inventory all of the tunnels and bunkers before this sale, and that the Ministry of Tourism was instructed it must add the island's coastal areas to its official beach station list. You know, so that you can make it look like a luxury resort. It then outlines what the investor still needs to provide, and it says a full business plan, a full feasibility study, an explanatory report justifying state participation, and a detailed description of state participation requested. So they agreed to it before receiving any of those things. The second document that they sent me was the actual contract that sold the company to Qatar. This contract was signed on the 7th of May 2026 and registered on the 3rd of June 2026, which was the same day as the Tirana protests. So while the country was in the streets, the paperwork was going through. The third document I received is the details of the actual company in Qatar that bought it. This is a shell company. It says it only has €2,600 to its name. This is just a rented desk at a serviced office in Doha. They also sent me the declaration filed with the Albanian Business Centre that names the real owners and their passport numbers. There are 2 named human owners sitting at the top of the Albanian Development Company, and these are the same people running the firm that hides this ownership. They are the front layer, Nikita Vinogradov and Zoya Girova. Both of these people are partners at Strike Tax Legal. Strike Tax Legal is a Dutch tax, legal and accounting firm based in the World Trade Center in Amsterdam. In her first video, Girl in Albania said that the company developing the Albanian wetland was registered through Dutch shell companies managed by a trust office at Stralinskilaan in Amsterdam. That's the street she named. The street address number 1431 Stralinskilaan is the Dutch Trust Management BV, the trust office that Girl in Albania pointed to. Well, number 1439, which is 8 doors down on the same road in the same World Trade Center complex, is Strike Tax Legal. Nikita is a partner at Strike and the director of the Dutch Trust Management Company. Understanding what this company actually does, what its business model is, what it sells its clients is critical financial literacy. These are professional corporate structuring lawyers. The way they describe their business is building, maintaining, and reorganizing company structures for international clients, incorporations, mergers, acquisitions, liquidations, plus KYC and secretarial service. A tax legal advisory firm like Strike sells one product to people who don't want their name on something: distance. They incorporate the companies. If a client wants to own something without their name showing, Strike sets up the Dutch holding companies, the shell companies, the layers that conceal the ownership. They supply the front. That's why their names show up in these public registers, not their clients' names. They provide their clients with a Dutch company and a Dutch director at a Dutch address, so that if anyone looks up the company, they'll find Dutch trust management, not their client. That is the whole job. Strip away all of this polite legal wording, and the service being provided here is we will own your thing for you in our name so that no one can prove that it's yours. So if somebody wants to take a NATO military island and hundreds of millions of Albanian state assets without their name attached, they hire these expensive corporate lawyers whose entire job is making sure those names stay hidden. The documents lead to 2 lawyers in an Amsterdam trust office, not the people who paid them. Girova is actually certified in the exact anti-money laundering law that is supposed to be stopping things like this, and she is the managing partner of a firm building hidden ownerships. These 2 are also the Dutch registered owners of Balkan Alliance Healthcare VB. These shell company structures are part of the healthcare empire built by the Albanian oligarch Clodian Alibeu, making them shareholders in the American hospital in Tirana. Irova also represents Armino VB, which holds the majority of the Hemodialysis Concessions Company, which is an $80 million state concession whose main beneficiary is Alibeu's American hospital. Fox did investigative journalism about this back in February this year. Prosecutors in Kosovo are now investigating Alibeu for money laundering. Alibeu was questioned by SPAC in February 2025. A couple of days before Alibeu was questioned by SPAC, he posted a picture on X of himself with Richard Grenell. It is Grenell who told Kushner to invest in Albania. Kushner said this on record. Grenell is the broker of this deal. Alibeu posted that photo himself and called it excellent and productive. Alibeu's healthcare empire is fronted by Nikita Vinogradov and Zoya Girova. Richard Grenell is Trump's personal envoy, his former acting spy chief, his ex-ambassador to Germany, and the man he put in the Balkans for years.